Hi everyone! Welcome back for another daily from Clues by Sam. It's weekend again, and that means difficult puzzles. Let's try our best. Both innocents in row 1 are Gus' neighbors. Mark Austin as a criminal. Exactly 2 innocents on the edges are Helen's neighbors. These are Helen's neighbors that are on the edges. We know that row 1 has 2 innocents, so there is exactly 1 innocent among Celia and Donna. Therefore, the only other remaining neighbor on the edges must be innocent. Only one of the criminals on the edges is Gus' neighbor. Similarly as before, these are Gus' neighbors on the edges, and we know either Celia or Donna is a criminal. So the only remaining neighbor on the edges must be innocent. Exactly 2 of Gus' 3 criminal neighbors also neighbor Sue. Mark Jane and Keith as criminals, and since we know the 3rd criminal neighbor has to be one of these 2, we can also mark Floyd as innocent. You gotta pay attention here because this is the hard part. Take a look at Austin's clue. There are 10 innocents on the edges. Since there are 14 people on the edges, this also means there are 4 criminals on the edges. We already know that 2 of them are in row 1, so out of these 7 people, only 2 of them must be criminals. When I'm in a situation like this, as in one that requires only a small number of innocents or criminals to work, I try to cause contradiction by placing more than the required number of them, and then negate the assumption that caused the contradiction. With that in mind, take a look at Floyd's clue. 2 farmers have a criminal directly to the right of them, so there are 2 criminals among these 3. Now take a look at Keith's clue. There are 4 innocents neighboring Paula. 2 of them are already revealed. With all of these info in place, my priority goes to setting up a situation where both of the remaining 2 criminal neighbors are on the edges. Then, if any of the remaining people on the edges happen to be a criminal, that would be a contradiction, since there must be only 4 criminals on the edges and not 5. This is what led me to make a false assumption that Sue is innocent, because then with Floyd's clue, Paula and Terry would become criminals, and both of Paula's remaining criminal neighbors would be on the edges. Like I mentioned, this causes 5 criminals on the edges, violating Austin's clue, a contradiction. Therefore, we can mark Sue as a criminal. Helen and Wanda have an equal number of criminal neighbors. We know from Jane's clue that Wanda and Ethan have an equal number of innocent neighbors. Ethan has 3, and so should Wanda. This means Wanda has 2 criminal neighbors. Therefore, Helen must have 2 criminal neighbors as well. And since one is revealed and another is in row 1, we can mark Gus as innocent. There's an equal number of innocents in rows 1 and 4. Row 1 has 2 innocents, so row 4 must have 2 also. And we know from Floyd's clue that either Paula or Terry must be innocent, so we can mark Noah as innocent. Gus has more criminal neighbors than Sha. Gus has 3 criminal neighbors, so Sha must have 2 or less. Since there are already 2 criminals among these 3, all the remaining neighbors of Xia must be innocent. Mark Wanda and Zach as innocent. Now we know either Vicky or Xia must be a criminal, since Paula must have 4 criminal neighbors. Remember that Wanda must have 2 criminal neighbors, and we know where both of them are. Mark Paula as innocent and Terry as a criminal. All innocents in row 1 are connected. Mark Celia as innocent and Donna is a criminal. Only 1 innocent in column C neighbors Paula. Mark Xia as innocent and Vicky as a criminal. And since now we have revealed all 4 criminals on the edges, we can mark Ethan as innocent. And that finishes today's puzzle, solved in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. Alright, that's it for today's video. Thank you for watching.